Highlights is a feature that is used to mark the EEG for a couple of reasons. One, for drawing the physician's attention to a particular segment of EEG, and secondly, for marking things for the final editing or pruning of the recording. Now, if you want to place a highlight, you do that by right-clicking in the middle of the screen, and this presents you with several options. You enter the highlight marking mode, the highlight this page, or enter the highlight mode. We'll start with highlight this page, since that's the easiest. If I left-click on highlight this page, you'll see that it places a highlight mark at the bottom of the screen for the full length of the page. Now I can change the name of that highlight and make it whatever I want. I could even delete the highlight by clicking on the X next to a highlight name, but for now we'll just leave that. One other option, and of course you again right-click in the middle of the screen, is to enter the highlight marking mode. With highlight marking mode, you'll see that it gives me a pink line and a highlight marker, and I simply click and drag. I'm holding down the left mouse key and I drag to the right, and it will mark that segment of the record until I stop and I let go. And then to exit from that, I'm going to right click and exit the highlight marking mode, and we'll call this another event. So let's go on to the third option, which is actually two options, is enter the highlight mode, which gives you the option to do paging or specific duration. So with paging, if I select paging, which is the default right now, I can simply page through the record, and it's going to mark until I say OK. So it'll mark from the beginning to the end of where I place that mark. The other option is to right-click and select a particular time. Again, enter the highlight mode, and this time I'll pick specific duration, and let's say I want to highlight for the next minute, and it will place that highlight for the next minute. Now, as I've marked each of those highlights, you'll notice not only did it give me this line at the bottom with the highlight name, it also marked the timeline with a green shading. It's also placed events in my event list to indicate the highlight 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then finally, if I want to review those, I can go to the highlights. We'll talk about that later. But for now, you'll see that you can use the event list, and you can just page through each of the events that we've placed. We'll talk about other uses for highlighting when we talk about editing and pruning down the record.